You are listening to The Vocal Technologist. Spoken tech for your ears.
Imagine getting into your car tomorrow morning, you sit in the driver's seat, and you reach for a steering wheel that, well, it simply isn't there.
Just a totally empty space.
Right, exactly. There are no pedals, there's no gear shift, the entire dashboard is just this blank, quiet surface.
Oh man, that sounds kind of intense.
It is. You just lean back and say out loud, "Take me to work." And on one hand, I mean, it sounds incredibly freeing.
Yeah, totally.
But if you are the person who actually understands how driving works, or, the engineer who spent decades perfecting the tension in that steering column,
yeah.
it is terrifying.
Because you've been entirely stripped of your agency. Like you are placing absolute faith in this hidden, invisible layer of intelligence.
Yes, exactly.
You're just hoping it understands exactly what you mean, right? Rather than just what you say.
And that tension, that specific mix of liberation and sheer panic, that is exactly what we are exploring in today's deep dive. So welcome in.
Glad to be here.
We are basically living through this massive structural shift in how humans interact with technology. We're moving away from pointing and clicking, and we're moving towards simply stating our intent to intelligent agents.
Right, the era of the smart agent.
Exactly. And we've got a fantastic stack of sources for today. It's this really fascinating mix of tech news, some design newsletters, and some really dense UX architecture blogs.
It's a great reading list. Really shows the whole picture.
It really does. So, okay, let's unpack this, because to understand the future of design and user experience, we actually have to look at the money first.
Oh, always follow the money.
Right. There are these massive business maneuvers happening behind the scenes to power this new era. What is actually going on there?
Well, we are seeing this really distinct reallocation of capital. It's moving away from the legacy companies that build the applications we use, and it's flowing toward the companies building the fundamental logic engines.
So the narrative has completely pivoted.
Completely.
Yeah.
The market is basically deciding that the traditional tools of creation, the software we use to paint or write, they're losing value. The real money is in the infrastructure.
Which brings us to the most glaring example of this, which just happened with SpaceX.
Oh yeah, the Cursor deal.
Right. So SpaceX just agreed to acquire the AI coding startup Cursor, and it was a $60 billion stock deal. $60 billion.
It's just a staggering number.
And this is happening just days after SpaceX's IPO. But I have to push back here for a second.
Sure, go for it.
On the surface, a space exploration company buying a tool that software developers use to write code, I mean, that feels completely disjointed. Why on earth does SpaceX care about Cursor?
So what's fascinating here is the strategy around their underlying AI division, which is built around the Grok model.
Right, Grok.
Yeah, and Grok was originally designed to leverage real-time data from social networks, but it has run into, well, a lot of significant friction.
Like what kind of friction?
Hallucinations, leadership instability, a ton of legal scrutiny.
Oh, got it.
So by purchasing Cursor, which is a company that has proven it can build incredibly reliable, fast AI coding infrastructure, SpaceX is basically acquiring the underlying plumbing of the digital world.
Oh, wow. So they aren't trying to build a better app.
Exactly. They are buying the very mechanism that builds the apps. They're signaling that enterprise AI infrastructure is their true secondary market.
Okay, here's where it gets really interesting, though, because this puts legacy creative giants in a really uncomfortable position.
Very uncomfortable. Look at Adobe.
Right, Adobe. I mean, they practically invented the modern digital creative industry, and they just reported their Q2 earnings. By traditional metrics, they totally crushed it.
Right, $6.2 billion in revenue.
Yeah, up 13% year over year. But then their stock took a 5% dive in late trading. Why would that happen?
Well, because the market is exceptionally good at looking past those quarterly sugar highs and spotting structural rot.
Structural rot, wow.
Yeah, I mean, a 13% revenue bump doesn't really mask the fact that their executive suite is clearing out.
That's true. Their CFO, Dan Dern, is leaving this June. And that's right after CEO Shantanu Narayan announced he's stepping down too.
It's a massive talent flight.
Right. And at the same time, Adobe is making this really risky short-term shift to expand their freemium AI models.
Right. They are giving it away.
Exactly. Is this proof that legacy creative companies like Adobe are basically bleeding talent because AI disrupts their core model, while infrastructure players like SpaceX swoop in to own the tools that replace the creators?
If we connect this to the bigger picture, The market is currently valuing the infrastructure of creation way over the traditional tools of creation.
Yeah, that makes total sense.
Adobe is realizing that the steering wheel business is dying. They spent 30 years building the most beautiful steering wheels for designers.
Right.
But the companies building the autonomous driving engines are making the steering wheel completely irrelevant. Their freemium pivot is really just a survival tactic to keep users in their ecosystem.
Just trying to hold on to them before those users realize they don't even need Adobe's interface to create an image anymore.
Exactly.
But I mean, owning the underlying AI infrastructure is completely useless if the end users don't have a physical device to interact with it.
Right, the hardware bottleneck.
Yes. From the business of AI, we really have to look at the hardware and software dance happening right now.
Yeah, the devices where these experiences actually live.
Let's talk about Apple. According to the sources, Apple built a fully customizable camera app for iOS 27.
And it sounds incredible, by the way.
Oh, it sounds like a photographer's dream. It allows you to rearrange the flash, the timer, the night mode, all of it. But they held it back internally. It was totally missing from WWDC. Why?
Well, the strategy is to hold that software back until they can release the iPhone 18 Pro.
Ah, of course.
Yeah, they need to pair it with the physical camera hardware upgrades that actually justify the software.
I have to say, it feels a bit like a high-end restaurant holding back their best newly invented sauce until you agree to buy their absolute most expensive steak.
That is a perfect analogy, actually. Apple has historically won by being late, but being best. Their bet is that consumers will endure the wait for a seamless ecosystem.
And they are taking that same patient approach with new form factors too, right?
Yeah, they aren't rushing out a half-baked foldable phone just to compete. They are quietly developing a second-generation foldable for 2027.
With a massive 7.8-inch inner display, the sources said.
Exactly. They view it as a permanent premium tier.
And while we wait for that hardware, they are making some really aggressive moves with iOS 27, like the wallet update.
Oh yeah, digitized loyalty cards, AI receipt scanning.
Right, smart hotel keys, the tap-to-share feature. And there are all these really fun UI tweaks too, like Macos, Golden Gate's liquid glass translucency slider.
Yeah, and that interactive loop Easter egg and preview.
I love that one. But then you contrast Apple's highly controlled ecosystem with what Snap is doing.
Right, the new AR specs.
Unveiled by Evan Spiegel at AWE 2026. They are $2,195. But the crazy part is, they are totally standalone.
No computing puck, no phone tether.
Nothing.
Snap is just sidestepping the smartphone entirely. They are focusing on developers and specific work or gaming use cases right now.
Okay, but whether we are looking at an Apple foldable screen or wearing Snap AR glasses, the interfaces themselves are fundamentally changing.
Changing drastically. The UI is basically disappearing.
Right. Which brings us to the AX revolution, when the UI is no longer the point.
Yeah, agentic experience or AX.
What exactly is that shift?
So AX shifts computing from teaching users how to operate software to simply letting them state their intent.
Oh, got it.
So historically, designers focused on the gulf of execution, which is figuring out how to do something in the software.
Right, like where the button is.
Exactly. AX collapses that gulf of execution entirely. But it massively widens the gulf of evaluation.
The gulf of evaluation, meaning I now have to judge if the AI actually did what I meant for it to do.
You nailed it. You aren't operating the software, you're evaluating the AI's probabilistic guesses.
That is wild. And there was a detail in the sources about this that I found so fascinating.
About blind users.
Yes, the idea that blind users might actually be the best equipped for this new AX paradigm?
It makes total sense. They have long navigated computing through language, semantic structure, and memory rather than visual spatial layouts.
Right. They're already native to an intent-based interaction model.
Exactly. And this leads to context architecture. It's taking traditional information architecture and applying it to these probabilistic AI systems.
So designing the environment so the AI guesses correctly.
Right. Because here is the radical idea. AI agents, not humans, are the new target audience for marketers.
Wait, really? The algorithms are going to make our purchasing decisions?
Yeah. Algorithms will negotiate with other algorithms on our behalf.
Okay, so I want you, the listener, to just imagine a world where you never click a submit button again.
It's hard to picture.
It is. You just have a conversation with a smart canvas like /space.ai, or you use design tools like Lunagraph that literally write real code while you talk.
It's completely frictionless.
But that brings up a huge issue. If AI agents handle the interface and the code, what exactly is the role of the human creator?
Right, the designer's identity crisis.
Yes,
Yeah.
because we are losing friction. And there was an essay mentioned, What Figma Made Visible, which argues that friction actually taught designers structural intuition.
You learn how things worked by fighting the system.
Exactly. But with new tools like Framer 3.0 agents or Figma's expanded MCP server.
Right, where it connects to Slack and Google Drive to just auto-generate whole presentation decks.
Yeah, that friction is just gone. Which brings us to vibe coding.
Oh, I love vibe coding.
Me too. Share that story about the GitHub designer.
So there's this GitHub accessibility designer who needed to build highly complex accessibility features, specifically tree views and F6 navigation.
Which normally takes forever to code.
Days of work. But they used large language models to just vibe code it in a few hours. They didn't write the syntax, they just guided the AI until the vibe was right.
That is incredible. But it means shifting from deterministic thinking to probabilistic thinking, designing with uncertainty.
Right. Designers now need objective success criteria. It's about critique. You have to ask, how likely is this to work, instead of will this work?
And that's why we are seeing all these new job titles emerge.
Yeah, agentic UX architect, trust designer, embedded AI design consultant.
It's a whole new world. But there is a trap here, right? Falling in love with the build.
Oh, absolutely. Like the story of the designer who built that fun search assist module.
Right. It was fun to build, so they reverse engineered a justification for it, even though users didn't need it.
Exactly. You have to watch out for that.
So what does this all mean for you and me? I mean, if all the friction of building is removed by tools like Ultramock or Moodboard 3000, do we lose our intuition for the craft?
It's a very real concern.
Are we just becoming managers of an army of AI interns?
Well, this is exactly why human truths, trust, and those tangible physical details matter more than ever before.
Oh, I'm glad we are pivoting to this, because amidst all this AI abstraction, we have to look at actual human psychology.
Right. And first, we need to debunk some UX brain myths.
Yes, please.
Designing for real people means totally ignoring neurohype. You know, the goldfish attention span myth or the left brain, right brain stuff.
It's just pop science.
Totally. You have to rely on peer-reviewed science about cognitive load.
And PayPal is a perfect example of this. They combat a 70% card abandonment rate using just 3 specific UX elements.
Right. Security indicators, familiar UI patterns, and borrowed brand trust.
It's all about making the user feel safe. And we are seeing this need for trust and physical grounding in massive corporate rebrands too.
Oh, definitely. Look at KFC's global rebrand by JKR.
Right. They standardized the physical bucket globally and created these immersive spaces.
And Universal Music did the same thing with Grand Army.
The logo with the 4 corners of the world and the central lens.
Yeah, and the slogan, "We are a world ahead." It's very grounded.
Okay, we have to do a rapid-fire round of all the fun, tangible details from the sources just to reward the listeners who stuck with us.
Let's do it.
Okay, SMLXL putting ecstatic dogs on minimalist midnight cosmetics bottles.
Love that. And Ivan Eller's using political cartoons to counter self-censorship.
Right, and just to be clear, the source presents that totally impartially. We aren't taking any sides on the politics.
Exactly. It's just about the design mechanism making tough issues accessible.
Yep. Then there's Hannah Lai painting these quiet moments of light, showing how the brain constructs perception.
And Yuya Zhu's Genesis bioplastic lights that deliberately deform and degrade over time.
So cool. Words of type and fonts.xyz serving niche typography needs.
Oh, and the festival posters.
Yes. Festival lineup posters, intentionally adopting completely illegible designs.
Just to avoid artist billing disputes. It is hilarious.
If no one can read it, no one can get mad about their font size.
Exactly. But you know, there is a serious takeaway from that article on big details.
What's that?
Well, in an era of massive software complexity, these small, tangible quality details are really easily lost.
So true.
Independent makers have a huge opportunity right now if they just focus on building simpler, higher quality products.
Okay, so let's summarize this journey. We started with SpaceX and Adobe's billion-dollar AI chess moves.
Realizing infrastructure is king.
Right. Then we looked at Apple's hardware pacing versus Snap's AR glasses.
The death of the traditional UI.
Exactly, moving into agentic experiences. And finally, grounding it all back in human psychology, trust, and physical details.
A lot to take in.
It really is.
Yeah.
Do you have a final thought to leave the listener with today? Something to mull over?
Yeah, I do. As the cost of executing an idea drops effectively to zero, thanks to AI agents, your ability to evaluate an idea becomes your absolute most valuable asset.
Wow, evaluation is everything.
Right. But here is something to think about. If you never have to wrestle with the friction of building something from scratch ever again, will you eventually lose the vocabulary needed to tell the AI what you actually want?
Oh, that's a chilling thought.
Or will we have to invent an entirely new human language just for communicating our imaginations to machines?
A whole new language for the steering wheelless car. I love that. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive. Stay curious, and we will catch you next time.
Spoken Tech for your ears.